Wednesday night, Thursday, we observe the fast of the 9th of Av. It commemorates the destruction of both of our holy temples. The first one destroyed in 425 BCE before the Common Era, and the second in 70 AC after the Common Era. The Talmud tells us a story of Rabbi Akiva and his contemporaries that are standing on Mount Scopus and are observing the desolation and the destruction of the Temple Mount. They begin to tear their clothing and they begin to weep. Rabbi Akiva begins to laugh. His friends tell Rabbi Akiva, "Why are you laughing?" He says, "Why are you weeping?" He says, "Why are we weeping? Do you understand that the Torah tells us that this is holy ground, that a non-priest is not allowed to step onto? And here foxes are just wandering back and forth and we should not weep?" And Rabbi Akiva says, "This is why I am laughing, because there are two prophets that told two different prophecies in different times. One said that the Zion will be plowed like a field, and the other one said that the elderly men and women will sit in the streets of Jerusalem." And I realized that until the first prophecy, that Zion will be plowed like a field, is fulfilled, the second one cannot be. And that is that ultimately, since we're now witnessing the desolation and that it was plowed like a field where foxes are free to roam, we know with certainty that the second prophecy, where the men and women and children will sing and dance and be joyful to the rebuilding of Jerusalem, will certainly come true. See, Rabbi Akiva tried to find the positive in everything. He in fact lived his life like that. Kol man da'avid achmana, everything that God does, he does for the good. But there's one more important point to be made, that the Rebbe, the late Lubavitcher Rebbe, emphasizes. That sometimes the fulfillment of one prophecy can be fulfilled at certain levels. And depending on the fulfillment of the other prophecy, it will be commensurate. That if the desolation is so intense and so immense, then the prophecy of when times will be good will be certainly as commensurate as that, and the joy will be without bound, without limit. And the one comfort that we have is that as terrible and as dark as our exile seems for the last thousands of years, we know with certainty that when the redemption will come and the light will shine, it will be greater than all the pain and the suffering that we've felt. You know, it's interesting. The Talmud tells us that there were many markers as when Jewish leaders believed that Messiah is coming, that there were certain deadlines. The question is, how many deadlines can there be? Usually there's only one deadline. You pass the deadline and that's it. But the answer is that certain deadlines are okay if you want to accomplish so much. I'm willing to go this distance if you promise me that I'm going to receive this. But then somebody says, would you go a greater distance if you were promised even more? And the answer is sometimes yes. We have had so many deadlines. This just tells us that the more and more we as a nation and individually grow in exile, that we become even better versions of ourselves. We become a better nation. We become a stronger nation. We accomplish even more. Then finally, when we get to the ultimate deadline, and Mashiach comes, the Messiah comes, we'll have a paradise. We'll have this serenity that will be unmatched because of all the effort that we've put in during exile. I know it's bitter. I know it's difficult. I know that each of us has our challenges, but know with certainty, like Rabbi Akiva, we'll end up smiling because when the prophecy is fulfilled, and hopefully today, it will be commensurate to the effort and unfortunately the pain that was put into it. God be willing, we have a couple of days left to the fast, but we are promised that when the redemption occurs, those days will turn into days of festivity. My prayer to all of us is that when it comes Wednesday night, Thursday, it will not be a fast, but rather a day of joy and happiness, where we'll have a feast that's fit for a king, with the coming of Mashiach speedily in our day.